Greetings, Internet. My name is Chris, and this is my guide for Fang Lair in the Dragon Bones DLC. There isn't much to say about the enemies you'll fight in between the bosses, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip straight to the first boss. The first boss is Lizabeth Charnas, but it's not a normal boss fight. You're instead fighting waves. It's not very difficult. The main thing here is to make sure you kill the ghosts, race, or whatever you want to call him immediately. And for the tank to make sure that he's got taunt on all the colossi. The colossi will do heavy attacks that hit really hard if you don't dodge them. I can't remember if you can block these without dying, but there are some other colossi later in the dungeon that if you block it as a DPS, it's still gonna kill you. Another thing to watch out for, you can also see I just died here from one of the ghosts. But one thing to watch out for is right in the beginning there are going to be 4 ghosts. Each marks like one of the waves. But yeah, they can randomly hit a player and just immediately kill him. And I've seen this happen I think 3 times now. So I don't know if that's a bug or what it is, but it's worth calling out. Usually what I do now is I block every single time this fight starts, because that will make sure you don't get insta-gibbed. Because it's just kind of annoying to die that way, I think. Anyway, we're moving on to the second pair of bosses. Or it's not really a pair, it's more like a... I don't know what you call this. But yeah, they're the Cadaverous Beasts. There are 3 bosses and side adds. The main boss that you actually want to kill is the bear. But there's also a Senche and a Guar. There are also wolves. The wolves are the main annoyance of this fight. And basically they'll get near you and explode. But they'll also explode when they die, so you can sort of try and work out a strategy to get rid of them. The way we do it is we have our tank near where they spawn, and then he's running volatile armor, which will hit them a little bit and get their attention. And basically he can block through their explosion and not die. The Senche is the main thing you want to worry about here, other than the wolves obviously, because it will fear a random player and then jump them. And when it jumps them, you have to interrupt that jump. The Guar will do poison, and after dying and resurrecting itself, it will start spawning these blue eggs that you might see. If you're near them, they'll explode and do more poison damage, and it's just really annoying. One thing also to watch out for is that if you're too close to the edges of the platform, the fear from the Senche can push you off. Anyway, this is probably the fight that most people will have, where most people would get stuck if they're gonna get stuck anywhere. Also, you can just see the Senche just jump right there, but we're so close to killing the boss it really doesn't matter. Yeah. But yeah, this is probably the hardest fight here outside of last boss hard mode. The third boss is Orion. He's basically a standard lich who summons adds. The adds are sort of what you want to worry about the most, because you'll see a mechanic here in a few seconds where he activates a totem. And basically the adds will run near you and explode. They won't hit very hard, but you need their explosion to get rid of the totems. You can kill the totems yourself, it's just with the adds so it's gonna go a lot faster. And depending on which totem gets spawned, there are various effects that will happen. You see this one right here is the Mammoth Relic. I completely forget what it does. I think it spawns AoE circles or something like that. There's also a Serpent Relic. There's a Shock Relic. And Wamasu Relic, I think, as well. You can also see I walked away from the totem for a second because I thought I had killed it with dots, but apparently not. Anyway, so it's not a very difficult fight. You just want to make sure you get rid of the totems, because as long as the totems are up, the boss is going to be enraged. And obviously you want to avoid this. Other than that, you just want to watch out for the circles. You can also see here at the end, also that's the, I think that's the chalk. Oh, is it called? No, shock. Sorry. The shock relic, maybe? Maybe it's the Lurker relic. Fuck, I don't know. There's a lot of relics basically. But one of them will snare you to the ground. That's just what you saw with the vines. And again, right here. Anyway, you can see I'm sort of fucking around right here. The other DPS died, and I thought it would be funny if we killed the boss with just dots, but that didn't happen, so I had to return. Kind of idiotic, I guess, but we were kind of fooling around since this is from a stream. You could also see there was a snake following me. That was from another totem. This is the fourth boss, Ulfnor and Sabina. The main boss, Ulfnor, is really not that big of a problem, but Sabina the ghost is the one you want to worry about. She will jump into the ground like that, and then teleport to the other end of the room and chain another person to her. If you don't break this fast enough, the boss will charge over there and hit the person that's chained to the ground and kill them. She'll do something similar as well, but to someone near the boss. If you don't get rid of it fast enough there, it's gonna hit all of you with frost damage basically. And lastly, she also fears you. The boss himself, he does a few fire attacks, and his heavy attack spawns fire circles. Just make sure you point this away from the group. The fire circles that he spawns from his heavy attack will bounce off walls, so you want to kind of point it towards the exit like this, and then just stand directly behind him. You see right here, we were testing out what would happen if the tank died. That's why I didn't free him. And you can see I'm getting hit by frost damage now. So that's what happens if the person that gets chained right in front of the boss does not get freed. This does not happen if you do not free the person that gets pulled to the boss. Anyway, this is the last boss, and it's sort of a mix between Torvikun and Orion the Black, since they're both in the fight. The first part is very simple. There's gonna be crystals activated, and you just have to destroy them, or they're gonna spawn ads. If you leave them up for too long, they're gonna spawn Colossus. The Colossus are pretty annoying. The heavy attacks will one-shot you. The boss himself will spawn a poison circle. He'll also fire this poison attack at whoever he's got aggro on. Usually that would be the tank, obviously. And that poison spit, or whatever you want to call it, it will hit the tank and then drop a little shock or something like that, and you want to move away from it. The shock will slow you down to like, I think 70 or 80% if you're near it, so it's really annoying, and you just want to make sure you get out of that if you're the tank. Here is the second phase that activates at 47% or something like that, where ghosts will sweep across the room. They'll one-shot you if you hit them, unless you get behind the golden shield spawned by one of the ads. One of the NPCs, I mean. You see right here, I'm just looking around for the next one. The reason for that is we've just been doing hard mode, and the phases there are a lot faster for the walls. You see it spawns right here, it runs towards like center right maybe. And you just stand behind the glowing wall and wait for the ghost to pass. Once you kill the boss, he's gonna receive 50% health and merge with Orion the Black. At this point, all 4 circles around the room are gonna activate and start spawning ads. There's also gonna be what I call a golden phase on top of his normal mechanics for the dragon. The golden phase you'll see right here, everyone gets feared, and then you have to pick up a golden circle. You can see I wait a little second just to see if everyone got theirs, because I didn't want to accidentally steal the one from the tank or the healer. And then you just return to normal. Basically the only extra thing here at the end are the golden phases and the ads. And the ads are really easy to deal with if you're running AoE attacks. And he dies right here. Anyway, that was my guide for Fang Lair. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope this was helpful. See ya.